Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss about types of hardness. As earlier we have discussed about there are classification of water on the basis of leather forming capacity, that is soft water and hard water. So now we will discuss about the hard water. Just recall what is hard water. Hard water is one which doesn't readily forms leather, and one more thing is there, that there is presence of chlorides, sulfates, bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium, which makes the water hard. Okay, so because of presence of these, it is called as hard water. Now on the basis of this, it is divided into two. Let us see. The first is called as temporary hardness. Okay, and the second is called as permanent hardness. So there are two types of hardness. One is temporary hardness and the other is permanent hardness. Now students, let's talk about the very first, that is temporary hardness. So the hardness of water which is due to the presence of bicarbonate. Okay, here there is the presence of bicarbonate of calcium or magnesium. That's why it is called temporary hardness. There is only presence of one, that is bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. What this statement says, suppose here we are taking water, okay, and in this water there is presence of bicarbonate of calcium. What is bicarbonate of calcium? That is CaHCO3 ka whole twice. And when we will talk about bicarbonate of magnesium, then this will change to Mg. Okay, MgHCO3 ka whole twice. So this is about temporary hardness, which is because of bicarbonates of calcium or magnesium. Now let's talk about the cause. Okay, what is the cause of temporary hardness? Okay, so for this you have to just recall that when suppose there is raining or rain occurs, okay, and rainwater is dissolved CO2 from atmosphere. There is atmosphere in there is carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, and what happens, the rainwater dissolve that carbon dioxide and it forms carbonic acid. Here you can see the reaction, and if not visible, then suppose carbon dioxide that is present in air or our atmosphere, it combine with water, that is rainwater, and it forms a carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. Okay, this is not the bicarbonate, this is a pre-product. Now what happens after the formation of this carbonic acid, which is seen here, this carbonic acid react with calcium and magnesium during its journey through river, etc., and forms bicarbonate. Okay, so what happens, this carbonic acid react with calcium and magnesium during its journey through rivers, etc., and form bicarbonate. Hence this is the calcium bicarbonate or magnesium bicarbonate. Now you have to also study how this temporary hardness can be removed. Okay, so how we can remove this temporary hardness from water? So for this we can do two process. One is by boiling and second is by Clark method. So let us discuss the very first, that is boiling. So what we do during boiling, we simply take the calcium bicarbonate, that is CaHCO3 ka whole twice, and we simply boil it, that is heat it. This is the symbol of boiling or heat. We simply heat it, and because of the boiling, the temporary hardness is removed. And what we get as product? it is calcium carbonate that is insoluble. So the bicarbonate, that is the carbonate or carbonic acid, will be remain as insoluble in water, and what we will get water free from carbonates or bicarbonates in them. Okay, so this is about the first process, that is boiling. Now let us talk about the second process. Second process is by Clark's method. In Clark's method we have to do nothing. We will take the same, that is calcium hydrogen carbonate, and we will react it with slaked lime, and slaked lime is CaOH ka whole twice. Okay, so when we react calcium hydrogen carbonate with slaked lime, then what happens? Again the same product as in boiling found. Here is the formation of calcium carbonate, and along with this water. Okay, so this will be in the form of insoluble, so we can filter it or remove it from it. Okay, so this is about the removal of temporary hardness. Now let's talk about permanent hardness. Students, permanent hardness, why it is in water? Because hardness of water which is due to presence of chlorides and sulfate. So when there is presence of chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium, then it is called permanent hardness. That is, if there is water, suppose we are taking water, and here we will have, suppose, sulfate of magnesium or chloride of magnesium or sulfate of calcium or chloride of calcium. Okay, so because of presence of these two, that is sulfates and chloride, it is called as permanent hardness. Okay, now how we can remove this? So there are two methods for the removal of permanent hardness. One is by adding washing soda. So you have to know the formula of washing soda. Its formula is Na2CO3. What we are doing, suppose there is presence of chloride of calcium. So chloride of calcium is CaCl2, and we have to add washing soda. Washing soda is Na2CO3. There is dot 10 H2O molecule also. So this will react together, and again what happens? We get CaCO3 as insoluble. Okay, and we will get 2 mole of NaCl, that is sodium chloride. So this is the very first process or method through which we can remove temporary permanent hardness, that is by adding chloride salt of calcium or sulfate salt of calcium and reacting it with sodium carbonate, that is washing soda, and it result in formation of calcium carbonate, that is we can say limestone, and also NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Now students, there is one more method, the second one, that is zeolite or permutate method. Its name is zeolite or permutate method. What happens here? Sodium zeolite is used permutate. Okay, it is trade name of zeolite. Permutate is the trade name of zeolite. It is sodium aluminate or orthosilicate. Sodium aluminate orthosilicate. Don't get in the word, you will not remember these words. So just I solved your problem. We can simply represent this, that is sodium aluminum orthosilicate, as Na2Z. Okay, it is simply represented as Na2Z. So we have to do nothing. We have to just remember that suppose it is the permanent hardness is due to the presence of sulfate of calcium, then we will react this with sulfate of calcium, that is CaSO4, and what happens here? Here we get CaZ, that is calcium zincate. Okay, and this is insoluble. Okay, So this is about how we can remove permanent hardness. We have discussed the two method. Now there is one more topic. You have to only know its definition, that is what is distillation. You have to know about distillation. Students, earlier also I have told you about distillation. So it is nothing, it is the process by which a liquid is obtained in its purest form. That is, liquid is heated up to boiling point and then vapor evolved or condensed to get pure liquid is called distillation. Okay, for this a distillation tube is used. You can understood this. I will send you a diagram of this distillation process. From there you will better understood this, or I will explain it to you in your offline classes, that how we purify a liquid substance to its pure state. Okay students, so this is all about today's lecture. Let us recall again what we have studied. We have studied about types of hardness. So there are two types of hardness. The first one is temporary hardness. It is because of presence of bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. Its causes are because rainwater dissolve carbon dioxide and form carbonic acid. These carbonic acid react with calcium and magnesium during its journey and form bicarbonate. Okay, how we remove this temporary hardness? So this temporary hardness can be removed simply by boiling or by Clark method. Now we have discussed about second type of permanent hardness, a second type of hardness, that is permanent hardness, and it is because of chloride and sulfate of calcium and magnesium. Okay, so how we can remove it? Removal of permanent hardness is done by adding washing soda and by zeolite or permitted method. We have also discussed about one term, that is distillation. So distillation is nothing but it is the process by which a liquid is obtained or get in its purest form. There takes two processes. Firstly we boil the liquid, okay, and then we just boil the liquid, then vapors will collect in another tube, and we just condense the vapor so that the liquid comes in its pure form. Okay, so thank you class.